Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So what you're going to see is there's a time lapse welding up a charge pipe. We'll have a time lapse. We're going to cut a hole in the hood. I did decide it's going to go backwards, and let me show you why. This right here is essentially all that needs to be removed from the hood to clear. But if we were to run this forward, this section would essentially flip, and it would be this whole front section plus some over this way. And there'd be a big hole right here, and I'm not a fan of that. This minimizes the amount of removed material. I am going to get some Zeus fasteners, and they will weld along this rail right here so that we can have the hood latched in the back. I'll run them down the frame rails as well. Unfortunately, in the front, we'll just have to keep the hood pins because there's not a whole lot that I can Zeus this to. But maybe I can add some tabs to the nose panel, and it'll get Zeus to the nose panel, but it's not very structurally rigid. But yeah, so that's where we're at. These lines I marked them on the fender, transferred it over. So now the part I've been dreading, we gotta cut a hole in it.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Real good.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
Well, it's the end of the day. I'm sweaty, I'm hot, I'm gross, but she's together. And not only is she together, she does, for the first official time, other than final welds, because I don't have enough argon today to finish weld everything. The cold side is done. Let's take a look. So we'll start, we'll go on this side. Let me flip you around. So we start on the hot side, which I showed you guys last week. Straight out of the turbo, right into the intercooler, comes through here. We have a 7-inch thick intercooler. You can just see peeking out there. And then it comes out here. And it goes up through this pipe, behind this pipe, through there, under the wiper cowl, and right into the throttle body. Now, the keen observers of you will notice it's not fully welded all the way up. I only had about 500 pounds of argon, and usually when you get down lower than that, it starts getting into the crappy stuff. So I only tack welded everything. That's got a little bit of a little whoop-de-doo right there to make everything line up and clear the hood. It makes a little bit of contact right here. I might, once it's all fully welded, give that a little squish to get a little of my clearance in there. Or see if I can like rotate things down a little bit. But I obviously have to make sure I still have clearance for fittings and all that stuff. But this is pretty rigid. What we're also going to do is I'm gonna make brackets like I did for the Pro Mod mounted turbos off the header to the valve cover. I'm gonna do the same thing with the charge pipe. And from here up, there will be a bracket. Let's see if I have a little piece of angle. So it won't be this, but it'll be something like this. And it'll kind of just go there. And it'll bolt in. It'll be welded on this and bolt there. That way, that's rigid. This coupler is eventually going to get replaced with a engine clamp. That coupler is eventually going to be replaced with a Vangean clamp. That side may or may not. Leaning towards not, because like I'm gonna have to destroy that coupler for that to be a problem. And then there's no couplers in here. That's the only other coupler, and it'll probably stay there. Again, aside from like decimating this coupler, I shouldn't have a problem. That leaves us 2 couplers. Everything else is Vangean clamped, solid welded, braced, all the hoopla. But that is officially Red's complete turbo kit. That hole, I may or may not make like a carbon beauty panel that's removable, just because I kind of just trimmed it so I could access everything as easy as possible. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, it's just a square, but if I can put a piece of carbon over that with a hole in it, it'll be a little nicer. But it'll depend too, because like the size of the hole for the Vangean clamp to go through and then snake that all out, it might just stay that way. But Red officially has a turbo kit. Oh, almost. No wastegate, no blow valve. Blow valve, I think I'm gonna mount in that cowl. It'd be kind of cool for like when it releases to like see the whoosh of air through there. Kind of just a dorky little thing that I think will be cool. And the wastegate's coming off of right there. So we'll work on that later. Mainly when I have Argon to actually work on stuff. But that's gonna do it for this week's video. As always, comment, like, share, subscribe. Get up, get after it. I appreciate it.
0, 1. Let's get started.